Hello my friends, welcome to Tassel Tuesday. Well, last week I opened up an email from my friend, not an email, I'm sorry, an actual snail mail, happy mail from my friend Maria at Maria's Miscellany. And she sent me this pattern paper. And almost immediately when I opened up her email, when I opened up her happy mail, I had a thought about that I might like to try to make a tassel out of this paper. So then thinking about it some more, I thought, yes, I definitely want to try it, but they should be small since it's paper, you know, and could tear. The tassels should be small to keep that from happening too much. So I cut two pieces, as you could see. We're just gonna eyeball this thing. So I figure this right here is at least 6 inches. And if I fold that in half, that's a 3-inch tassel. I think I might like a little bit more than that. So if I want my tassel to be about, well, let's do it like this, and then we can always trim the end. So if our tassel's going to be about this long, I'll cut it right here where this black line is. And I'll just cut both sheets at the same time because they're thin, so that's not a problem. Actually, since I'm going to do that, I might want to just find out where the halfway point is here and then just use that. Let's do that. Yep, I think I like that. Now, since they're all together, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna cut strips. I could tear them, but I think I'm gonna cut them. Now, some of these won't be perfect because the paper isn't perfect, and that's okay. I'm not worried about, I'm not worried about that. Now, it is moving a little bit as I'm cutting it, so I'm gonna hold it in the center. Friends, as I was thinking about this, I decided I would go ahead and combine this with my Beebeecraft project share because actually I want to use some of the things that I got in my last Beebeecraft shipment. So let's slide our papers over here and let's decide what we're going to use. Well, let's definitely use some bulb pins because these are used frequently on clothing. If you've ever noticed, sometimes the tags will be attached with a bulb pin. So let's definitely use some of those. We'll keep with our sewing theme. And then I'm thinking, and I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I like the idea of using some of the larger bead caps, like on the very top of it. So we're gonna have these out so that maybe we're gonna use those. I will also plan on using this when we go to make some bead dangles if we choose to do that on these, but I'll have these handy. Now we've got, so for sure we're gonna use the bulb pins and the bead caps, and I will be sure to link those in my description box, and as well as the Beebeecraft YouTube program information. And while I'm on it, before we get started on our tassel, let me just tell you that if you would like to get free product, you can join the Beebeecraft program. You only need 100 subscribers to participate, and then once accepted, you will order product and they will ship it to you for free. You will get up to $40 of free product. And then you just need to make 3 videos. 1 unboxing and then 2 project share videos. And that's what I'm gonna work on today. This will be not only Tassel Tuesday, but this will be a project share video as well. So far I've taken out a few of each color. We've got silver, nickel, black, and the gold. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and put some of these little tassels together. And we might do this a couple of different ways. because we're experimenting. So the first thing I'm gonna do is lay them out sideways like I always do. I was thinking about, did I want to wrap them around with what kind of string I wanted to use, and I want to make sure it's something that's small. So I think I'll go ahead and use embroidery thread. We'll give that a try. If that doesn't work, we'll try something else, but we're definitely going to start with that. So I think I have enough pieces here. Before I do anything, let me go ahead and grab the embroidery thread. I was gonna use pink, but let me use black for the first one. And then I just had an idea that we could literally run it through this bulb pin. Let's experiment and let's try that. So I'm gonna gather it up just like I would any other tassel. Actually, let me see if I can get all this paper onto this bulb pin. Let's see. All right, we did, not a problem at all. Now I'm closing the bulb pin, and now I'm gonna pull the paper down just like I would as if it was thread, right? I'm sorry, as if it was fabric. So we're just pulling it down, just like this. And now I'm gonna take a piece of the black embroidery thread. I'm gonna cut it. Let's go like 12 inches. I don't really measure much. I usually eyeball stuff. Now I'm gonna take it and I'm going to, I think I'll wrap it around a couple of times. So I'm just gonna hold an end of the paper and just wrap this around. And I want it to be tight, but I don't want it to be so tight that I rip the paper. Okay, that's probably plenty of times. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just double knot the embroidery thread, and I'm gonna do that knot that I learned for the book binding. And I know a lot of you know the name of that knot because you told me when I mentioned it in that video, but I don't remember the name of it. Anyway. Okay guys, let me push this out of the way so that you can see this. Now we're gonna go ahead and trim the end. So we'll just take it and hold it. Let me hold it like this, just like if it was hair. If I was cutting hair, and most of you guys know that I used to do that for a living, you kind of hold it like that and then you just cut. All right, that should be straight. Here is our first one, and then we have the string here. So I think I might want to add like a little charm or something there. Okay friends, so before I start experimenting with something else, I want to show you what I did. So I made several of these and I put them directly on the ball pin and then tied them off. And I'm thinking, because these are small, I might go ahead and turn these into tags for like gifts or something like that. So here's what we've got. I ended up making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have 2 hanging here. All right, so I made 7 of them, and I have 2 black bulb pins with black string, and I did 2 silver with white, I believe. No, I did 1 silver with white, I did 1 nickel with white, and then 1 black with gold, and 1 gold with pink, 1 bronze with like a deep maroon color. It almost looks brown. So I made these. So we're gonna call these incomplete, but we're gonna set them aside. We are gonna go ahead and use our silver eye pins, and we are gonna make some cute little bead dangles. And then this one, instead of putting it on one of the bulb pins, I just put it on a jump ring. And we're gonna try to make a little tiny dangle for this particular tassel. And if we like it, then we can always add some little dangles to the ones with the bulb pins. I want to make sure I use stones that are small enough so that they don't look too big. Probably gonna have to grab my box of seed beads, but this first one, I just want it to be clear little glass beads. And these are in a diamond cut. So I think I'm just gonna put 3 on here. That looks cute. It's not overwhelming. They're small enough. I'm gonna put 4. I do love these needle nose pliers, by the way. They grip really. I have carpal tunnel, so it's hard for me to squeeze, but these make it so easy because they go into the palm. So I really like that about them. All right, so we have one little bead dangle. Try to zoom in so that you can see it. And we're gonna go ahead and just tie that onto the string that is hanging here. I'm preparing to make the tags for these little tassels. So in keeping with our sewing theme, I pulled this Simplicity magazine, and I actually had picked this up at a thrift store. Actually, believe it or not, all the way down in Fort Myers. And I was so happy to get it because I knew at some point in time I would like to do a sewing themed journal. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and pull some pages out of it and then glue them onto these tags, and then we can attach those to our little tassels. Once they are dry, I'm going to go ahead and trim all of the edges off. Now we get to do some more of the fun stuff. So these are dry, and I'm putting a hole in them with my awl, and the hole is so that I can put the bulb pin through it so that the little tassel can hang from it. But before I get started on attaching the tassel, I'm going to go ahead and attach some fabric and buttons to begin embellishing them. This one I chose to use a yellow gingham fabric because this particular tag has some green on it, and I think that yellow and green just look so pretty and springy together. And I am using Fabri-Tac because I'm using fabric, and as most of you know, Fabri-Tac works really well with fabric. Before I adhere the button to the tag, I'm using some sandpaper to remove the shiny surface from the back of it. That makes it much more porous, and it makes it adhere much better. Just like if you go to the nail salon and you get your nails done, you know how they scratch up your nail surface to make the acrylic adhere to it. It's basically the same premise. I finished making the tassels, so I'm going to show you each one, and I'll try to zoom in on it when I'm editing. This one has a piece of the Simplicity Sewing magazine, and I put some yellow on here and some yellow scrap. This is ribbon, then this is scrap, and then a yellow button, and this has the gold bulb pin from Beebeecraft. I also used the gold eye pin from Beebeecraft as well. On this one, also a piece from the magazine attached to some cardboard and some scrap ribbon that I had and a white button. And then I used another Beebeecraft bulb pin. I won't say it every time. You'll know that all the bulb pins are Beebeecraft, and you'll know that all of these eye pins that I attached the beads to are also Beebeecraft. This one has a little bit of a pink theme to it. So we've got some pink beads here, the gold bulb pin, and also the gold eye pin. And then I had some scrap with silver and just attached a pink button. Oh, and on the back I used the bridge contract. For this one, I used the silver bulb pin and eye pin, and then we've got black and white here. But then here I added a piece of the scrap from the magazine. It says sewing on buttons. Then I have some lace here and then a nice big button. This one's a little bit smaller, and I used a black, was this black? Yeah, I used a black bulb pin, but a silver eye pin. And then I attached 2 buttons down here, and then there's some cotton. This was a tag, it says 100% cotton. Then I wrapped that around the back because I thought that would be kind of cute. And there's a little bit of lace here. I will go ahead, before I take pictures of these, I'll go ahead and add some ribbon through each of the holes, and then I'll take pictures and I'll show you guys. So this one is black and white, and it's got a nice big vintage button on it. And then this is the one with the maroon colored embroidery floss. but here I used the nickel colored ball pin and then the gold eye pin. You guys know I love yellow, and so this is like one of my favorite ones because the magazine had some green in it, and I added a little button here, and then I added buttons with a little yellow and white gingham here. So, so I love that one. I think that's a lot of fun. And then the last one is a nice long one. Somebody could actually use this as a bookmark if they didn't want to use it as a tag. But this one's got the magazine, and then I had an extra piece that says buttons and buttonholes, and then we added some vintage material here, and then added this button. And then our tassel has a silver ball pin and a silver eye pin. Then I used some glass beads up here. So I think that looks cute. And I think that was it, guys. So I'll get some still shots. I'm gonna add the ribbon, and I'll get some still shots of that, and that'll be it. Friends, I appreciate you being here. Please remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching. See you soon.